Hello. Hi, everyone. This is Lokesh from the Soul Freedom Show, and we have a very special guest today, Trish Muehlstein. How do you pronounce it?
Muehlstein.
Muehlstein. Okay, I was almost there, but I think I'll never be there. No. So, yeah, thanks, Trish, for joining. How's your day going?
My day is going great. It's always a busy day, but I love to take time out and talk with like-minded individuals. It's so much fun.
I know. Yeah, thanks for calling me a like minded individual. Nobody does that anymore. All right, so I'll just read your bio that you sent
Sure.
me. Yeah, Trish is a holistic health slash life coach, certified nutrition advisor, former personal training director for Gold's Gym, and multiple business owners. She has managed hundreds of personal trainers and been in the fitness and health industry for 18 years. She has an online platform working with hundreds of clients from 14 months to 90 years old. Her professional clients range from Super Bowl champions, NBA players, motocross racers, and celebrities. Trish is on a mission to empower all to live the most healthy and disease-free lifestyle, following a cleanse, balance, build, and love philosophy. Her website is lifestylewellnessgroup.com. She also has a very good Facebook group. What is it called again? Lifestyle Wellness Group. Yeah.
Lifestyle Wellness
Uh,
Group.
all right, great. Thanks again, Trish. So why don't you just start off with telling us a little bit about how your business, I don't know, yeah, business is going, and how, yeah, how your clients are kind of dealing with what's going on right now.
Well, I think over the past couple of months, since all of this started, right? Um, a lot of truth has come out, right? And so I've been dealing with those truths for years in the health and wellness industry, right? So many people, they get sick, they go to a doctor, the doctor tells them you need to do this, this, and this and get on this prescription medication, right? And then they go and they get on that prescription medication, but most of the time they don't see any kind of improvement in their health, right?
Hmm.
So what kind of my group does is, and my group is made up of a lot of medical professionals. So I've got a neurosurgeon and a neuroscientist. I've got a PA that's been practicing medicine for 28 years, 18 years in internal meds, 8 years in, or even more. I can't even keep track now, but she's been in pain management for the past couple of years. And I've got physical trainers or physical therapists. I've got other health coaches, raw food chefs, and we kind of all found our way together because we all had instances in our life that whether it was our children, a lot of it was our children or ourselves that had health conditions that we were following what the doctors were telling us to do, right? Put this cream on the eczema, or take this high blood pressure medication, or do whatever the case may be, but nobody was getting better. No, we weren't getting rid of whatever the eczema or the neck pain or whatever. So we all started kind of looking for alternative answers. And I was always the type of child that I drove my mother crazy. Why? you know I never took anything. You could tell me something, and I've got that rebel spirit, so I'm kind of like, well, wait a second, that doesn't make sense to me, right? And if it didn't make
Hmm.
sense to me, I wasn't just going to listen. I was going to figure out what did make sense to me. So I questioned things. And so that's kind of what brought us all together, is we had all these different health issues that we were dealing with. And um, and we found each other along our journey, and then we started sharing different information that was working with the clients that we were, or the patients that we were servicing. And we came up with this, we came along this philosophy, that cleanse, balance, build, and love philosophy, from a holistic doctor that had a practice in California, and they were seeing some great results. So we all started putting that philosophy into and practicing that in our lives, and some amazing results started happening.
Mhm.
So we decided to start sharing that. We needed to get the word out, and that's where the
Mhm.
truth comes in, right? When you
Yeah.
start uncovering all these things and you're like, well, wait a second, you know, uh, those are the truth that we have been told and led to believe are not necessarily the truth, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. So there's been a lot of talk about the hydroxychloroquine. Like, do you have any experience with that, or do you think that's a solution for the whole virus situation? Or
I don't have any personal experience with it. The research that I have done on it looks amazingly promising. And I
Mhm.
don't understand why, like, for example, when you go get Sudafed, right?
Mhm.
Like from the grocery store, that you have to go to the pharmacy counter and you have
Mhm.
to fill out the thing and sign off on it, and you get it from behind the counter. It's not like you can go down the aisle and get it, right?
Mhm.
So, the hydrochloroquine is, or hydroxychloroquine, it operates in that manner in a lot of different countries. That's how people get their hands on it. So I'm not understanding in this country why it's such a big debate, right?
Mhm.
If it's been around
Yeah.
for 60 some years, people with lupus or arthritis are treated with it. So
Mhm.
I'm not understanding what the big debate, unless it's a political debate, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, that's what they say about the pharmaceutical industry, right? They try to suppress those natural solutions because they have to sell their medicine, right?
Correct. I mean, I've got a young lady. She's my age. She's in her 50s, and she's on 17 pharmaceutical medications.
Mhm.
And she's disabled now. So she can't work. I don't think it's safe to drive a car for her. She's on and you got to understand, when you take a pharmaceutical, the chemistry of your body starts to change. So where your systems are supposed to operate together, they're being either numbed or cut off. Your receptors, everything, there's a blockage there,
Mhm.
and a synthetic reaction is caused, right?
Mhm.
So when you take multiple of
Yeah.
those, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
There's no studies like this lady. There's never been a study that has studied the effect of combining all those medications at once on a daily basis.
Mhm.
And it's criminal. I believe it's criminal for someone to do
Mhm.
that to a
Right.
person. um,
Yeah.
and it's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of the ability to say, well, wait a second, why? Because we've
Yeah.
been taught just to be complicit and compliant, and say, if you're handed a script and say you need to take this 3 times a day, we're told,
Mhm.
okay, let me go take it to the pharmacy, let me go get it filled. Oh, and I do
Yeah.
have a pharmacist as part of my group as well that owns a
Mhm.
pharmacy. So she's a
Mhm.
great resource to say, okay, what does this drug do and how does this interact? And
Mhm.
so that's an awesome resource for our group, especially for a lady that comes to us with, that's on 15 different medications. But there's never been a study of a person that has had that many interactions. So, you know, that's a mess.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the vaccines too, right? Like the same principle that, I mean, first of all, like you said, they just tell you to inject your kids with it without even people questioning. They're like, yeah, your kid needs it, and then something like, yeah,
That was
coronavirus comes
me.
along.
That was
Yeah.
me. I have 4 kids, and there was a gap between the last one and the first 3. But as a young mom, I had no idea, no clue whatsoever.
Mm,
Um, that you just you take the baby in, and the doctor says, oh, you need to sign off on this. Boom, boom, boom. You sign off on it, and the
mhm,
baby gets the shots, and you go home. Right. It
right.
wasn't until my fourth child had a severe peanut allergy
Mhm,
reaction,
mhm,
and I did research to figure out, oh, that could have been caused by the vaccine, right? That
mhm,
peanut
yeah.
allergy, that deadly, life-threatening peanut allergy.
Mhm,
And then I realized, oh my gosh, I took my other three babies into the doctor's office. I just signed away and had
yeah.
no clue to even
Right.
ask.
Yeah. That's the thing because where do people go? Like we trust the doctors so much, and then it doesn't even occur to us that doctors are brainwashed themselves. I mean, they go to school, but how do you make sure what they're what they're teaching in school is the right thing? And also, I was reading about it. A lot of people are saying like doctors are not even taught about the food that we like, the diet. So how can they talk about curing diseases without even talking about the diet?
Exactly. And my neurosurgeon and my PA, my pharmacist, they will all tell you they had no clue on nutrition, and it's not part of the curriculum. They had like a, you know, 2 credit course in med school on nutrition.
Mm,
They don't even go in that direction whatsoever. And I'm living proof. I don't know how many thousands of people that I've worked with over the past 18 years. Let me give you an example. I had a guy come to me, blood sugars over 400, blood pressure over 225. He was having many strokes in and out of the hospital, went to Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic told him, I'm sorry. And he wasn't reacting to any kind of medication. For some reason, they could not get the meds right. Um,
mhm,
and I had worked with him previously, and I worked with his son, who's a professional motocross racer. And so he called me in a panic, and I said, okay, listen, you've got to listen to me this time and do exactly what I tell you to do. Within 3 weeks, when Mayo Clinic said there's nothing we can do for you, three
mhm.
weeks, blood sugars under 200, which are still high, but for him, that was very helpful. And blood pressure regulated, all with
Right.
food, plant-based supplementation. That's it. It's so simple.
I know. Yeah. Even the plant medicine is suppressed too, right? Because a lot of people say for things like addiction, for example, like drug
Mhm.
addiction, there's a lot of plants that can just help you. I think the one is called iboga or something. There's so many that the shamans practice to
Oh,
get
I
rid of.
brought something.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
this is garlic, organic garlic, and organic raw honey. Okay.
Hmm.
So it's fermented honey and garlic, and you just put it in here and let it sit on your counter. And sometimes you have to burp it to let the air out, but it ferments, right? Well, there's so many antibacterial properties in this. And this is just a great thing to keep on your counter. And, I've had parents that have had children that have like ear issues, and they'll rub it all around the ear and in the ear, and then their earache is gone, right?
Right.
It's like a cough
Yeah.
medicine. I
Right.
mean, there's just simple things like that you can do.
Yeah. I think yeah, that's a good point because a lot of people, right now are talking about med beds and the new technologies coming up. But I think, like you mentioned, we have very simple things that we kind of do not practice, but we are kind of hoping for like a super advanced technology to come in and take care of everything. And but there, like you said, there's simple things we can do, right?
Now the med beds sound really cool though to me though. That's fascinating.
I know. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's first of all, it sounds too good to be true, and second of all, People have been talking about this for so long. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I mean, I'll give you another example, like the whole Nasara Jisara thing. People have been
Hmm.
talking about for 30 years that, oh, it's gonna happen. So I mean, I'm not saying it's not gonna happen, but we cannot kind of hope and just have that be our guiding thing, that okay, if I have a problem, I'm not gonna keep waiting for that. Like you said, we have those things that we can do it ourselves, right?
Yeah, I believe everything's already here. Everything's on the earth. There's a great documentary. Don't know what channel it's on, but it's on mushrooms and fungi, fabulous fungi, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing that the immune boosting qualities of mushrooms, just
Yeah.
that simple fact,
Mm-hmm.
increase your mushroom intake,
Right.
um, put it in your meals. There's so many herbs, there's so many oils. It's phenomenal. And that's kind of what we do in our group is teach people to seek those kind of remedies out, right? Instead
Mm-hmm.
of just relying on some kind of man-made chemical.
Yeah, similar to what David Wolf also talks about it a lot,
Yes,
right? Like the
perfect.
mushroom, especially, he's called the
Mhm.
avocado wolf. I
I
love avocado.
eat an avocado once a day. I have
Oh,
one avocado a day. I can't live without them.
I know, that's so good. Yeah, it's funny because I'm from India. I moved here in 2006, and before that, I had not even heard of the word avocado, because in India, I'm from New Delhi up north, but there's only some parts of India that have avocado. I didn't even know. But when I had avocado for the first time, I was like, wow, this is some kind of exotic thing that everybody should have.
But then India, then you've got all those wonderful spices,
Oh
right?
yeah, right.
And those are all medicinal as well.
I know, I know. Yeah, that's why, nothing can beat Indian food. I mean, especially if you're a vegetarian. But that's the second thing we can get to if you want to talk about that, because I've been talking about this for a while, and I've gotten some flack for it. Because when you talk about that, there's always going to be people be like, oh, just because you don't eat meat doesn't mean everybody should. Or they talk about, oh, Bible says eat, or they talk about protein. I mean, there's so many things that people have, for or against the animal eating culture. But I want to hear your opinion about vegetarian versus vegan versus meat.
So I think the people that I know that follow a raw veggie diet, right? That's
Mm,
what they consume. They don't age. They don't have
right.
a weight issue. Their skin
Mm,
looks phenomenal. They
right.
just they just keep better, right?
Right.
Um, and then I find that the the older you get, your digestion your it starts to slow down. Your digestion starts to slow down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one, we just consume way, our portions are way too big, right?
Right.
So getting somebody off of like the standard American diet, which is meat, potato, a starch, and a vegetable, um, it's a completely 180. But I think a lot of the problems that we have now health wise is because our GI tracts are so off. They're just so damaged. And
Mm,
one of the ways it gets damaged is from eating the meat, okay?
mm,
And eating a big portion of meat
right.
that does not, it never digests in your
Mm,
body. It never gets broken down, right? And then basically it just sits there and it rots inside of you. And then it
yeah.
causes a compound effect of so many issues.
Mm-hmm.
So um there's a school of thought, there if you follow the blood type diet, O's are meat eaters, right? um they're supposed to, like, they're supposed to do good by consuming animal protein. So that's one school of thought. There's when you get into the then there's a great documentary that's been out about sports performance and following a vegetarian um, way of life, right? And it's so much easier and cleaner on your GI tract. So it's really, I see people, if you can substitute, okay, this is kind of where it gets lost. A lot of vegetarians then start getting into high carbs, right? And
Mhm.
not the good carbs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's a fine thing that you have to make sure that no matter what kind of diet that you're following, that you're getting the essential amino acids that you need, the
Hmm.
essential building blocks that your body needs, the vitamins, the minerals, and that, and you can totally sustain on a vegetarian,
Right.
diet.
Right.
um it's really, we lean at our house. I've really leaned a lot. I've gotten away from animal based products,
Mhm.
just because of the health issues and the inhumane way that they're, the farming and the,
Yeah.
it's just not good.
Yeah.
I would
Hmm.
rather not. But I would say we're not really a completely meatless, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
family. And I think it's just based on, you know, holistic health is so individual. Like, I could give one person a protocol that has the same issues as this person that has a protocol, the same issues, but the
Hmm.
protocol will work with one person and it won't work with this person, because there's just something, because we're so individual.
Hmm.
And that's why really when you try to teach or help somebody through holistic healing, you really have to teach somebody how their body responds to the things that
Hmm.
they put in it.
Yeah. And also, it has to be a slow, gradual process moving from one
Hmm.
to the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I would
Also,
love to be at a place where I'm completely vegetarian and I'm completely
yeah.
raw, even,
Yeah. Right.
but um, but it's a
Yeah. It's
struggle to
hard.
get there.
I know. Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. Because I recently stopped having eggs about 2 months back. So I used to think, oh, yeah, animals I'm not eating, but oh, eggs is okay. But then again, I did more research, like from a spiritual perspective, how those chickens or whatever, how they treat it just for eggs. I didn't even know that. That's why I like to talk about it, because most of the things we don't know, and
Hmm.
that's why the culture is so prevalent, is because when we grow up, we think meat is a food. The dead animals are food. It's not even food.
Hmm.
But just because we call it meat, we don't call it dead animals. I wish we could change the dictionary to say dead animals, because especially when we're kids, we don't know. We think meat is food. Meat is just food,
Right.
right? So we just brought up into that, and then once you watch those documentaries where how animals are treated, and not just documentaries, like if I was, let's say, the president or whatever, governor or some leadership position, if I had one decision to make, what I would ask people to go, literally, like, go get on a bus, go to the place where they're killing those animals, and then while they're doing it, everybody's watching,
Ugh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying in a like, just to get an idea of how bad it is.
Yeah,
uh
like even when I go through the grocery store, which I have not been going to the grocery store for months now because of the whole
right.
mask issue, right? So I've
Yeah.
gotten my groceries delivered. But when I used to go to the grocery store and go through, just walk past that meat aisle,
Yeah, it's
just
disgusting,
like,
man.
it would just,
Yeah, again, I mean, it's nothing against the animal eater, because people who are eating meat, there's nothing against, there's nobody judging, because people then start getting into this argument that why are you judging us,
Right.
it's not about it's about truth, being truth, fact being
Right.
fact. And then yeah, because there's no argument about, I'm not promoting, like people start commenting, why are you promoting, I mean, it's not about, like if we're talking about something which is our opinion is based on fact and is also spiritually not correct to do, why is it called a promotion, or why is it called, you know what I'm trying to say, like.
Right, right.
Yeah,
And that's the same. I always try to put the information out there,
yeah,
and then you've got to take the information in, assimilate, you assimilate it, you do your own research, and then
yeah,
you come across your own belief system,
yeah,
but that resonates with you, right? And we're just here to tell you, because I know that, as I would go through the grocery store, right? And you can see into people's grocery carts, and you
mhm,
can see that they just are probably not, they probably don't know any better. They're
yeah,
not, they're not educated
yeah,
on all the corn syrup that they have in their cart, and how
yeah,
that can lead to all the inflammatory disease that I can see they have all over their face, because they're inflamed and they're red and they're
yeah,
overweight. And it's
yeah,
hard knowing so much. And I know when I go through the line, the checkout people are always like, oh my gosh, you like, you're everything is organic and everything, like. And I'm like, if you knew the things that I knew, you
hmm,
would know why my
yeah,
grocery list is like it is.
yeah, I
And
know,
that's
yeah.
my mission, to get that out there.
Yeah, exactly. It's our mission, it's our opinion, and I kind of don't like it when people start arguing about, like what I just said, that we should, people should go and see those farms where animals are treated like that. There'd be some people, I'm sure, they'd be like, "Oh, that's disgusting. Why do you have such disgusting thoughts?" I mean, basically, what you're saying is you don't want to see the truth. Then why do you even care about listening to this podcast or any other truthers out there? Because truth means truth, right? Like people talk about the babies who are being sacrificed underground, right?
Hmm.
Now, people are taking the word for it. Like most people, even the QAnoners or whoever they want to call it, nobody has seen, I mean, most people haven't seen what's going on. They are trusting the plan, which is not wrong. I'm not saying that it's not happening, might be happening, but what I'm trying to say is they trust that plan, and then they trust the fact that this has been going on. But then what about the truth that's right in front of our face, which we can see? If you cannot even comprehend or take action based on what we can see in front of our eyes, why do you even care about what you cannot even see? That's my opinion again.
Right, right. And it's just,
Yeah,
I think more than ever that we're seeing that what has been broadcast to us, right,
right, right.
has been manipulated and censored, and it's been put out there for an agenda,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Yeah,
not for just the truth. So I think a lot of people now have gone to alternative things. I know I detached from watching the media about 20 years ago. And I did it because I didn't I'd put it on, when I was cooking dinner or something and my kids were
mm,
little, and it was always just negative, yucky stuff. And I was like, I don't want to hear about the negative, because I knew better at the time that whatever you have coming in that's
Mm-hmm.
what's going to stay, right? So I wanted positive and love and light, and especially coming into my babies, as they were growing up, I wanted
Mm-hmm.
good things. I wanted them to be around positivity. I didn't want them to be around negative. So I stopped turning off the news back then. And then I remember reading some kind of, it was a personal development success book that it specifically said, turn off the news, turn off the TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
detach yourself from that. And I took it and I said, okay, if I'm going to start my own businesses, if I'm going to focus, if I'm going to work on myself and develop as a person, I'm going to take this one person's advice and I'm going to turn it off and keep it off. And so I detached from that years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I seek out my truth. I seek out my news. And I think that's what people need to do right now more than ever, is seek out those people that you resonate with. Seek out, like, you can tell if someone's watching this, they can tell, is this person genuine, or do they have an alternative motive. You've
Mm-hmm.
got to listen to that little voice inside of you, that internal monitor that's like, this person's full of baloney, right?
Yeah.
Or, hey, this person makes me feel a certain way. I feel excited when I listen to this person. I feel filled. I feel light when I listen to them. I feel excitement. I feel their energy, right? Because it's really just a transfer of energy. So if you want to
Yeah.
transfer that negative energy and you want that negative energy around you, continue to listen to the negative energy and your life will be negative and you will not be successful. Or you can be filled with truth, light, happiness, and positivity. I mean, it's not that difficult.
Yeah. I think you brought up an interesting point about switching off the TV. I did that many years back too, but right now I'm trying to do it on YouTube as well, because there's so
Mhm.
much. I mean, there's truth, but I think there's so much negativity too. Like there's people go too deep into I mean, not a conspiracy, but you can still call it truth, but it doesn't help. Like if you know about, let's say, somebody is a clone and he did this and this, I mean, how is that helping us, right? That's where we get to the basic truths about like meditation and getting
Mhm.
in tune with our own consciousness. And that's what I feel what television was like 20 years back or 10 years back. I think right now that's the same thing is happening on YouTube. There's so much of negativity. I mean, again, like you said, you have to find out the people who you resonate with. But then, even then, I feel that you have to be really careful, because there might be some things I resonate with one person. They may not
Mhm.
be everything. I just have to pick. So that's another thing. People get too much into this thing. Like, for example, I'm a QAnon supporter, but if I say anything which doesn't agree with what QAnons believe in, they will start saying, "Oh, you're dividing people." How am I dividing people? If I'm saying I support Trump and QAnon, I'm not. I'm not supposed to be agreeing to every single thing that they're saying. First of all, there's no clear truth or plan. Like they say, trust the plan. There's no, like, everybody's trying to connect the dots, right? Like they read these two
Well,
posts and then they
because
connect. Yeah,
because people need that instant satisfaction. They
right,
We lost the art of having patience.
right.
No one knows how to be patient.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
lost how to listen. And I'm not
right,
meaning listening with our ears. I'm meaning being still and
right,
letting things come to us, right? There's
right.
very few people that have mastered that, to just sit in silence or meditate or try to clear our thoughts, clear our mind, and let
Mhm.
divine power speak to us or through us. Very
Yeah,
few people have mastered that, right?
right.
And so I think that's another thing. I have a little girl on, that's part of our group, that's a a life coach as well, and Maddie
Okay.
meditates, and she does a meditation every Monday night, and it's something that I really started practicing through this whole COVID thing, because I don't know about you, but I'm an empath. So I pick up all those, the energy of everything
Mhm.
around me affects me. So I'm
Yeah.
exhausted, right?
Yeah.
And I can sit with a person and I can feel exactly how they're
Mhm.
feeling, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes it's very draining.
Yeah.
So I've had to really hone in on meditating and quieting my mind and rebalancing myself,
Mhm.
to be able to be at my best, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a very exciting time that we're in, because I think there's a big shift happening, you
Mhm.
know? It's, everything's cyclical. It all comes around, right?
Yeah. Also, like you said, it's about perspective. Like, so for some people, this might be the worst time of their lives, but for some people, it's just time to meditate. You're off the grid. I mean, not literally, but I don't think we can ever be the grid. But what I'm trying to, like, we have more. Like, for example, I'm working from home, right? For some people are still complaining that I'm not meeting my office folks or colleagues or people. For me, it's a time for more time to reflect, to meditate and to take walks, not wear shoes, for example. Like, when you go to the office, you have to wear shoe, which is not a very good thing in my. You're kind of blocking your feet, which are so important in our, meridians and
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it. Like, we are not touching it with the ground. So
Ground.
those kind of things, yeah, those kind of things. This is probably the best year of my life. So it's about perspective. So I want to quickly talk about your coaches. So if somebody, let's say, is going through stress or, like, say, physical problem or emotional or mental or spiritual, anything, any
Mhm.
of those, how does your company and how do your coaches help? Like, do you have different coaches for different things, or, why don't you tell us about that?
We do, and actually, our neurosurgeon is actually our techie person as well, and she's in the process of updating our website right now. And they'll on the website there are ways to get in touch with each one of our coaches. Our bios are on there, and then some of us have Calendly links that you can just click on that link and jump onto our schedule.
Hmm.
And then we offer, 30-minute consultations. We also have a group coaching program that is
Hmm.
more economical for most people. And that's also run through Facebook. And yeah, so we have an array of coaches. So it's kind of like you pick whichever coach you want to work with. In the coaching program, we all kind of team up and coach.
Hmm.
But yeah, if somebody wanted to get with us, they would just go to our website, which is lifestylewellnessgroup.com.
So, does the solution include both alternate, or I shouldn't say alternate, natural medicine and the pharmaceutical medicine, or how does it work?
So if they are already on a pharmaceutical, we don't prescribe any pharmaceutical medication. So
Okay.
all of the things that we recommend would be holistic or alternative methods to help resolve whatever issues you're having.
Okay.
Depression, anxiety, and it might be plant based. A lot of it is because of nutrient deficiency.
Yeah.
um, and if we can increase that nutrient, we teach you the philosophy of cleanse, balance, build is, getting everything bad out. So whether that's
Mm.
out of your GI tract or out of your life, right? Getting the
Mm.
negative out, first of all, then
Mm.
balancing everything out, whether it's your hormones, your pH, your work
Mm.
and personal life, relationships. It's all about balance,
Yeah.
and then building it back up. So putting the
Mm.
good nutrition back in,
Mm.
putting, the good thoughts. back in, filling your cup
Mm.
up with positivity, and then wrapping it all up in love, because
Right, right.
love is the most healing
Yeah,
force
right.
out there.
Yeah, so those supplements that you're talking about, do you like do you just recommend and people can buy on their own, or you also give them the supplements?
We all have links to different, we represent a couple lines. We've
Mm-hmm.
partnered up with a couple companies who we've done the research on them, and we
Mm-hmm.
personally use them. We don't recommend anything that we don't personally use on a daily basis. And so, one particular supplement line we have found that is most inclusive, and the quality of the ingredients that they put into it is of our standards. And
Mm-hmm.
we've used that line in order to for all of our protocols, and we've just found that they work really well. They're fast, they're
Mm-hmm.
very potent, and they work very well. And they're easy. But the most important thing I love about it is that it's the children can do
Mm-hmm.
it as well. So
Okay.
because it's plant based, it's not chemical, so a
Mm-hmm.
whole family can start this lifestyle together. It's not just the mom and dad, and then you got to do something different for the kids. Yeah.
Right. And what's the minimum time that you recommend they be in the program? Like, do you have different packages for that, or?
Um, there's really no set. I mean, it's all
Mm-hmm.
customized. And what we do offer that if you do purchase some of the products, we do give you 30-day access to our coaching program for free,
Mm-hmm.
to get you off on the right track and make sure that you understand. It's a lot about education, because the
Yeah.
that line that we do use, since it is plant based, it can be used for maintenance, once a day, say,
Mm-hmm.
or you can increase
Right.
it to a medicinal level. So there's some things you can take multiple times a day to fix things a lot
Right.
faster, you know.
Right. And does the program also include things like meditation? Or
Hmm.
oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
whatever.
that depends on the coach.
It
Okay.
really depends on the person and what they
Right.
feel. you know if a person comes to me and they're super super stressed, or they've got some, I can pretty much tell from having that 30-minute consultation at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like putting a puzzle together, right? i
Yeah.
I just ask a ton of questions, and at the end of that 30 minutes I can pretty much pinpoint, since I've been doing this so long,
Right.
what the major things are, or what.
Mm.
And then we can put them in order of importance of what we need to tackle first. Y-
Okay. Great.
yeah.
Yeah. Sounds great. Trish, anything else before we wrap it up? Like, do you have any message to people? How people can get to you?
Yeah, the best way to reach me is either but on Facebook, jump
Mm-hmm.
jump in with me on Facebook, either friend me
Right.
on Facebook, and then I can put you into one of my groups if you friend me on Facebook.
Right.
Um, our website, lifestylewellnessgroup.com. Trish at lifestylewellnessgroup.com is my email address if you want to email me. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll answer that email. And then, Lokesh, I want to have you on our podcast in the next week, and get
Oh
you
yeah,
on.
that'd be great. Yeah. I'm also interested in becoming a coach. I took coach training many years back, so maybe we can talk about it offline.
That'd be awesome.
Because because I'm more of a what I call the dot connector guy. I have something on my website called a dot connector where I know how to connect one thing to the other, especially, spiritual, emotional, physical. Like, I think you do a very good job doing that as well, because we can't just look at one thing, we have to look at.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
That's
let's.
what's so important, to
Yeah, exactly.
look at the whole picture. You've got to look at the whole picture, and that's really what we're here for today, to get that information out, and so we can be a resource and we can be a blessing to other people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks again, Trish. It was
Thank you.
amazing talking. So great talking to you. And yeah, we'll be in touch. Definitely let me know next week whenever we can schedule something for you. And where can people find your podcast again?
The
Uh,
podcast is Lifestyle Wellness Group. It's on iTunes. We have 10 episodes on there now, and we're working on it on our second season.
mhm.
And then it's also under Blondes with Brains.
Okay, I'm a blonde with brains, so I can definitely do that.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you
Trish.
so
And
much.
thanks. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. This is Lokesh from Soul Freedom Show. My website, soulfreedom.org. Trish's website again, one more time. Uh,
LifestyleWellnessGroup.com.
.com. All right. Thanks, Trish. Have a nice day.
Thank you.